The more you have, the more you want, as Harry and Meghan had scorned the Queen's generosity and want to live at the lavish Windsor. As a bombshell new book has claimed that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry had reportedly had their hearts set on the lavish suite of apartments at Windsor Castle after they married, but they were instead given the Frogmore Cottage. As Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, currently living in California with their kids Archie and Lilibet, but they've retained Frogmore Cottage as their home in England, a gift from the Queen after their wedding. However, it turns out that the Duke and the Duchess of Sussex has originally hoped to move from Kensington Palace, where they first lived together, to a suite of apartments in Windsor Castle. And per royal reporter Katie Nicholl, in her book The New Royals, excerpted in the Daily Mail, the Queen had offered Meghan and Harry Frogmore Cottage instead. As when Harry and Meghan had announced their wish to move out of Kensington Palace, the Queen had offered them Frogmore Cottage as their new home, writes a royal expert, Katie Nicholl. According to Lady Elizabeth Anson, who was a close friend of the Queen and had died in 2020, the monarch had made the generous gesture of giving them the cottage instead, as she described the home in Windsor as a big deal to the Queen, who had reportedly said, "I hope that they will respect it." As the Queen's entrance into the gardens is right next to their cottage, it is essentially her backyard, her solitude, and her privacy, and she was giving that up in gifting Harry and Meghan Frogmore Cottage. As the move by the Sussexes was particularly significant because it signaled the end of Harry and William's double act, Nicholl had noted, and it was deeply disappointing for the Queen, as the Duke and the Duchess had been disappointed with the Queen's gift of the historic Grade 2 listed home, as they were hoped for a suite of apartments in Windsor Castle itself. As this was not the suite of apartments at Windsor Castle they had hoped for, it was a generous gesture nonetheless, recalled Lady Elizabeth Anson. As the couple had moved into Frogmore Cottage in April of 2019, after spending around $4.6 million on renovations, as the money came from the sovereign grant, which is funded by the British taxpayers and provides the royal family with funds to cover the official royal business and duties. But, despite the late Queen's generous gesture, the couple didn't remain in Frogmore long, and in January of 2020, the Duke of Sussex had sent an email to his father, telling him that he and Meghan were unhappy. Harry explained that they wanted to move to the US, according to author Valentine Lowe, and it seemed that to be under the impression that they could just sort it out by email before he and Meghan got back to London. And in fact, the couple are said to have stayed there while they were in the UK for the Queen's funeral and mourning period. As the rift between the Sussexes and the other members of the royal family has been seen in the headlines over the past couple of years, where Harry and Meghan has been critical of their life in the UK when talking to the American media since their move to the US. As the death of the monarch had brought Charles, William and Harry together once again, as they had mourned and walked behind her coffin in several processions and attended her funeral with their wives.